And that basically means, let's show you the first slide. Set. I have good news and bad news. Set is a very short word. That's the good news. S-E-T. Okay. It's easy. But in this lesson alone, I think we are going to use set 5 different ways. So, short word, one of the most difficult in English. It's a word like put. Short word. P-U-T. Yeah, but we use it about 100 different ways. So let's talk a little bit about set. So to set up something, this might be the first thing you do when you cook. It's another way to say prepare or get ready. Oh, get. Another hard word, right? Get. To set up something means you prepare and organize the things you need to make the event happen. So when we're talking about cooking, that might mean you set up your ingredients. You set up your utensils. We will talk more about that in just a minute. You do this beforehand. You do this before you start cooking. Okay? So to set up this live stream, I set this live stream up before I went on camera. I did research. So I had to figure out which phrasal verbs we should talk about. Turned on the microphone here. Turned on my computer. Turned on some lights. So I got set up for this live stream. Now, when you cook, you might do a couple other things. When you get set up to cook, get is there. When you get set up to cook, you get out, another phrasal verb, you get out your ingredients. And in English, ingredients, those are the foods you will use to make your final product. So to make eggs, you might get out your eggs. You get them out of the refrigerator. Maybe you want to add some butter. Everything's better with butter. Maybe you want to add some cheese. So your ingredients to make your eggs would be eggs, cheese, butter, maybe some salt and pepper. But you might also get out your tools or your utensils. So utensils are, I don't think I have a sentence for you here. So utensils are the tools you use to make something. So you might even have a writing utensil. That could be a pen or a pencil. But a utensil for cooking might be a spatula, or it might be a whisk, or it might be a spoon. I'll have a picture of a whisk in just a minute. Let me check the chat, see if there are any questions here. Yeah, if you have questions, you can just use the chat to ask questions. Yeah, Mahmoud. So many phrasal verbs. I can't help it. All right, like the purple lights in the background. I thought it might match my shirt a little bit. Can you see my shirt? It's kind of almost purple, blue. Yeah. Utensils. Look at this. Nice picture. So yeah, some utensils for eating might be a fork, knife, maybe some chopsticks, nice big spoon to eat your cereal. Sonia, thank you for the heart. So let's talk about a couple other ways. Yeah, Rabia. Sorry. Yeah, you might set up your place. So maybe you are moving into a new apartment or a new house. Before you move in, you might set it up. You might put some pictures on the wall. You might have to set up water, or electricity, you might have to call someone to set that up. Hey, I'm going to be moving in next week. Can you turn on the water? Can you turn on the electricity? Then of course, they will start charging you for that. You have to pay money, right, for electricity. Great example. Or what about set off? Now, I hope this doesn't happen to you, but you could set off the smoke alarm. And in that picture, I have a smoke alarm. If you're listening on the podcast, it's basically something in your house. Sometimes it's a little circle, sometimes it's a square, but you will put in batteries, and when the detector senses smoke, it will start making a very annoying noise to let you know, hey, you might have a fire in your house. You may want to check on that. You may want to get out if it's bad. So a smoke alarm or a smoke detector is what you will find in a lot of houses that will let the people living there know you might have a fire in your house. We have a saying in English, where there's smoke, there's fire. So smoke is usually the first thing. Let's get out of the house. But it happens in my kitchen sometimes. We leave the food in the oven a little too long. It might set off the smoke detector. It might set off the smoke alarm. If you burn food in the kitchen, you might set off the smoke alarm. Oops. Guilty. I've done it before. But the difference between a smoke alarm and a fire alarm is that most people have smoke alarms in their house, but in a public place where a lot of people go, a public place like a school or a public library or maybe a mall, they will have a fire alarm. And you can see a picture of a fire alarm on the screen right now, unless you're listening to the podcast. Shout out to anybody listening to the podcast. So that is a picture of a smoke alarm or a smoke detector. People have them in their homes. Fire alarms, they're a little bit more powerful, and you can actually pull them if you see a fire. All right. Hopefully that helps. The next one, timer. A timer. You can set a timer. Another way to use that verb, you can set the timer. So no phrasal verb there, but if you set a timer, that means you take a thing that looks like that. You might turn the dial, and if you need to bake a cake, maybe, and it's going to take 40 minutes for that cake to bake, you might set the timer for 40 minutes so you don't forget about your cake that's in the oven. There's nothing worse than a burnt cake. Cake. I didn't realize, but maybe talking so much about food is going to make me want some food, like cake or ice cream. We will talk about ice cream later. Ice cream. Did I read this sentence here? Maybe you can practice your shadowing if you would like. So I will read this slowly, clearly, and then you can work on your pronunciation if you would like to. Repeat after me. You might set a timer so you don't burn the food you're cooking. That is a timer. I usually just use my phone. Hey Siri, set my timer for 40 minutes, please. Sometimes she says 40 minutes and counting. Sometimes she calls me Brent. But she just set a timer. Hey Siri, stop my timer. All right. Hopefully, if you are watching this and your phone is near you, maybe I just set off your Siri. It's another way to use set off. You can set off a smoke alarm, or I can set off your Siri. Hey, Siri. Mm-hmm. Oh, she did answer that time. Mm-hmm, she said. Mm-hmm. All right, sorry. I will try not to set off your Siri again. That might be annoying. All right, so set out. Earlier we talked about set up. Set up. Now we're going to talk about set out. And they are so close. They are almost the same with just one little difference. So you might set out your utensils. You might set out your ingredients. You could do the same, set up both of those things. You might also use set out before you cook. You can use set out your ingredient, or you can set out your ingredients. You can set out your utensils. But let's talk about the major difference between the two phrasal verbs. If you set up something, or if you set something up, you are more careful than just setting out. So, line up. That's a new phrasal verb right there. Line up. So if you look at that picture over there, there is a whisk, and there is I think that's a corkscrew. I don't know. And then we might call those beaters. So from left to right, the whisk, the swirly thing, might be a corkscrew, and then beaters. We might call those beaters for a hand mixer. But those are lined up. You see how nice and organized they are? If you set out something, you might just quickly place it on the counter. But when you set up, you're a little more careful. I hope that helps. These are some advanced English phrasal verbs. You know what I should do right now? Should probably check the chat, because we are discussing difficult things. So let's see what's going on here. Mina, hello. Let's go. I'm going to go all the way down to the chat here. Yep. Siri. She's right here on my phone. She's an AI assistant. Unless you changed your voice to more of a male voice. Maybe it's a guy. Bruno Dart. Long time no see. Siri's just on the iPhone. Yeah, what's on? We also have Alexa, right? She's on Amazon products, I think. All right. That was asked before. Set out. Hopefully I explained it. Oh, Mahmood. Okay, yeah. Siri, right on the phone there. Ooh, great example right there. Yeah, it's 8:22 p.m. in Vietnam. I have to set up my timer in order not to miss Brent's live stream. Nicely done. Love it. Right Winter says, do you intend to have a lesson about phrasal verbs to use when we eat or drink? That might be a good one for next week. Hey Siri, remind me to do an English lesson on phrasal verbs we use when we eat or drink. She did it. Thank you, Siri, for not letting me forget. Oh, hey, Abdi. I'm glad you asked this. Set off. We are going to talk about another way you might use set off or set out. So keep that question there. Oh, Google Assistant on Android? I don't know what that's called. Is it just Google Assistant? It's boring. Yeah, I think she will remind me. All right, I did not see any major questions, but a couple weeks ago, I think I have it right here. A couple weeks ago, I'll make it nice and big so you can see it. I asked this on my community tab on YouTube. It said, which phrasal verb meaning to start a journey would you use? So we already talked about one way to say set off. We talked about starting a journey before. Looks like 13 days ago. So yeah, if you are beginning a journey, you can say set off. So that's what makes these phrasal verbs so difficult, is that they have a couple different meanings. So just as a reminder, of course, English is confusing. There are other ways to use some of these phrasal verbs. I wish it was easier. Sorry. Another way we might use set in English when we talk about cooking. You might set the table. So you do this before people sit down to eat. Sit, set, sit down to eat. You might set the table. Very little difference with the pronunciation there, but sit down, set the table. Set the table means to arrange the plates, utensils, glasses, and napkins at the dinner table before a meal. It's what you do to get everybody ready for eating, like putting plates in their places. Couple P sounds there. I will read that one more time, and if you would like to practice shadowing, let's do it. Set the table means to arrange the plates, utensils, glasses, and napkins on the dinner table before a meal. It's what you do to get everything ready for eating, like putting plates in their places. Hope that helps. Sometimes younger children will have to set the table. That is their chore. The parents might prepare the meal, but the kids will have to set the table. Hopefully they don't break any plates along the way. This next one, thaw out. Thaw out. That means to make something frozen become warm and soft again. So if you put meat in the freezer, it keeps for longer. And when I say keeps, that means it stays in a condition where you can eat it. So let's think of a piece of chicken. If I set that out on the counter overnight, maybe for a couple days, and I try to eat it, I'm probably going to get sick. It will not keep as long as if I put it in the refrigerator, or better yet, put it in the freezer. So if I set some chicken out on the counter in the heat of summer, that chicken might go bad pretty quickly. I could put it in the refrigerator and it will keep for a few days, but I could put it in the freezer and it might keep for a few months. So that means you won't get sick if you eat it. If food keeps, that means you won't get sick. So that chicken in the picture looks pretty frozen. It looks like it's been kept in a freezer for a couple days at least. Well, I'm not sure if you've ever eaten frozen chicken, but I don't think it would taste very good. And if it's uncooked, I think you could get very sick from eating raw chicken. But if this person has kept that chicken in the freezer, before they cook it, they probably want to thaw it out. So thaw out means to make something frozen become warm and soft again. Hope that helps. I think I did have a picture. Don't know where it is now. But those things are chicken tenders. Chicken tenders. You might hear chicken fingers as well. Maybe later? I thought I had some chicken tenders there. Okay, but those things are called chicken tenders and chicken fingers. You can use both terms. They don't have any bones in them. They don't have any bones in them. So if you want to thaw something out, let's take a look. For example, when you take food from the freezer and leave it at room temperature or use heat to make it not frozen anymore, you're thawing it out. Thaw. Not easy to say, right? Thaw. You are thawing out that chicken. All right, a few more comments here. Just want to make sure we're not missing any questions. Oh, defrost. I think that's a great synonym. I'm trying to think if you can't use those interchangeably, but I think you can. So if you defrost something or if you thaw it out, it's the same. I'm not a professional cook, but I think those are the same thing. Thank you, Filippo. Thank you, Filippo. Omran, thank you so much. Very generous. Didn't you leave another super chat for during the members chat? Very kind of you. Thank you so much. I have a little something for you. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. And I took a quick sip of water there. Oh, this might be a good time to remind you right here. Please, if you are enjoying this lesson, hit that old thumbs up. If this is your first time here, subscribe. YouTube doesn't show my lessons to many new people, so I think it's mostly subscribers, but just in case this is your first time here.
If this lesson is helping your English improve, don't forget to tap that like button and share it with a friend who's learning English.
All right, hopefully this is helping. Thaw out. Omran, thank you so much. Just checking the chat. Yeah, the pronunciation of the word thaw. Thaw. Yeah, Abdi, it might take a couple hours to thaw out. So you could leave it on the counter. You could leave it out. Or maybe if you are going to eat it in a couple days, you could leave it in the refrigerator. Yeah, memorization. And try to do lots and lots of listening so you won't have to memorize as much. Right. Don't see any major. Chris, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Michael, you can defrost things in a microwave. So let's take another look at that example here. So, for example, when you take food from the freezer and leave it at room temperature, that's thawing out or defrosting, or use heat to make it not frozen anymore. Yeah, so if you put it in a microwave on a very low setting, another way to use setting there. But it's different from melt. Thawing out and melting are almost the same, because you take something frozen to a stage where it's not frozen, but melting is different. I don't care how. You can leave chicken out for a long time and it won't melt. It'll do other things, but it won't melt. But if you think about ice or ice cream or like that orange thing in the picture, we call that a popsicle. If you think about ice cream, popsicles, when you take them out of the freezer and you leave them on the counter, well, they'll just melt. They won't really thaw out. I mean, at first, you might thaw out your ice cream, but that will only take a couple minutes. If you leave your ice cream out for an hour, it will probably be melted. All right. Hope that helps. The next one, mixed in. Mix in. We also have another phrasal verb, stir in. You can pretty much use them interchangeably. Mix in, stir in. In that picture is another whisk. That's a whisk. Mix in means to combine different things together, like stirring ingredients in a recipe. It's like making sure everything is mixed well so that they are all together nicely mixed. You probably want something smooth if you're mixing it, or pretty smooth. How about this? If you are making chocolate chip cookies. So the smooth part we would call the batter. The batter. It's written right down there with 2 T's, the batter. You might mix in chocolate chips to your cookie batter when making chocolate chip cookies. So you just take a spoon or a whisk, go in a circle, and you're mixing or stirring things in. Hopefully that helps. Mix in, stir in, same thing. Same thing. Am I missing any comments here? Look at this guy. I've heard of this guy. His name's Bob the Canadian. He gave a thumbs up. Welcome, Mr. Canadian. How are you? Good to see you here. I'm sure everybody knows Bob the Canadian, but if you don't, take a look. He did a great English lesson yesterday about sickness, I think, right? Sickness. It's a good one. It's a great time to talk about sickness, too, because where Bob and I live in North America, it's going to be cold pretty soon. We all know what that means. Cold and flu season. Ooh, stir up is a totally different one, right? That's what makes these English phrasal verbs so difficult. You can stir in some chocolate chips, but then you can stir up some trouble. So remember, there are many ways we can use these English phrasal verbs, but if you want to start some drama, if you want to stir up some trouble, you can just spread some rumors. I do that at my school quite a bit. Ooh, hang on. Let's take a little break from cooking. Oh, my daughter's probably going to get mad. But I stirred up some trouble this week for my daughter. She goes to my high school, and I'm new at that high school. I don't know very many teachers, but her science teacher was sitting in her room by herself. It was after school. There were no teachers, no students in the class. So I went in there and I said, "Hey, I'm Brent Watson. You know, you have my daughter." It's like, "Oh, really? Yeah." And we had only had class for a day or two, and I could tell she didn't know my daughter. And all of the other teachers have come up to me, they've given me a lot of compliments on my daughter. So I said, "Oh yeah, she's a lot of trouble. Yeah, you got to watch out for her. Last year, she got into a lot of trouble. I'm just down the hall. If you have any problems with her, just feel free. Come and get me." And then the teacher was like, oh yeah, that is good to know. So as I hit the microphone, my daughter never gets in trouble, but I wanted to stir up some drama so the teacher would be on the lookout for her. Like, oh. But then the next day, my daughter came in and said, my dad was just joking. So she ruined my fun, but I was trying to stir up some drama. Oh, that's too bad. I did not hear about the earthquake in Morocco. I hope everybody there is safe. No, my daughter, no, she will not watch this. Absolutely not. Yeah, no worries there. She will not be, look at that, the best teachers. I hope you're talking about me, Omran. I know you're talking about Bob, for sure. He's definitely one of the best teachers. Maybe the best, but hopefully I'm included in that, unless somebody else joined. Yeah, we might say that, girl drama, right? But guys have their own drama too. Believe me. All right, so let's get back to the lesson. We just talked very quickly about stir up. The next one here, not mix in, but it is boil over. Boil over. I hope this never happens to you, but it might. So if you heat up water, it will boil, which means the water starts to bubble. You know that in English, but pretty much everywhere around the world, right? When you get water hot, it starts to bubble. Well, in English, we call that boiling. The water starts to boil. If you have too much water in the pot, it may boil over, and the water will start overflowing from the pot. I've done this quite often, and it makes a huge mess on the stovetop. Not very fun. What about fry up? Fry up. With some of these English phrasal verbs, native English speakers will just put up at the end of a verb. So in that picture, it looks like some French fries are frying. But for some reason, we love to, hey, do you want me to fry up some French fries? You hungry? I could fry something up. You could just say, hey, I'm going to fry these. But no, we have to add up. English speakers love to add up to just about every verb. You can fry up some French fries and some oil. Fry up some French fries. Oh, maybe this is where it's chicken. Yeah, okay. I knew chicken tenders was coming up. So we have this. One of my favorite foods to fry up is chicken tenders. In fact, last night for dinner, I had chicken tenders. Very healthy, right? Not so much. But here are a couple sentences you can use if you want to practice shadowing. My favorite thing to fry up is chicken tenders. You might also hear chicken fingers. So it just means that they are boneless, or these pieces of chicken do not have any bones in them. Love chicken tenders. I think when my brother was from like age 5 to 12, he had chicken fingers for every meal. Yeah. 3 times a day for thousands of days in a row. He just ate chicken fingers. Yeah, my parents didn't care too much about our health when it came to eating. So it was either that or mozzarella sticks. He'd fry up. Yeah, little kid. He would use the fryer. Like he was like 5. He would push a chair up to the counter. Push up, right? Another phrasal verb. Push a chair up to the counter. He would just be frying up chicken fingers for like 7 years. Chicken fingers and chicken tenders are always boneless. They do not have bones. Yeah. Oh, man. Yes, up can be used as a preposition. Yes, exactly. But a lot of times we will put it with a verb just to make things difficult, and to use it as a phrasal verb. Oh, here's a great sentence. Oh, a couple phrasal verbs there too. Mom gets me up. Might be missing a preposition though. Mom gets me up in the morning. She fries up an egg. All right. Missing a period maybe. Missing a capital letter or two, but pretty good, Abdi. Pretty good. Mom gets me up in the morning. She fries up an egg. Well done. There you go, Sita. No, Chris. Sorry. Glasses aren't on. Chris. Hungry. Chicken tenders. Maybe I should wear glasses more often, but then I don't want to look like that. So I'll just get some names wrong sometimes. Sorry. Yeah, French fries. Who doesn't like French fries? Tell myself that all fried food is unhealthy. I need to tell myself that more often. Yeah, I probably eat too much fried food. Yeah, Mahmood, you can say, yeah, hey, I'm going to fry up some chicken tenders. You want any? That sounds very American. We used to have Swiss chalets. Not easy to say, right? We used to have Swiss chalets where I lived, but they all closed. Mahmoud, Good call, man. That is my brother's name, Ben. Where is he? I think he's at his house. Yeah. Maybe I'll make a members video. I bought a chainsaw and I showed my brother this week. He's like, what are you going to do with that? It's a very small chainsaw, so I don't hurt myself. Now, maybe I'll make a members video for that. All right, let's do it. What's that? KFC? Invite Brent to the KFC table to eat with us? Popcorn chicken at KFC. So there's chicken tenders. Those are longer. Popcorn chicken is like a small circle. Chicken fried up in a circle. We call it popcorn chicken in English. Yeah, it's good. I'm there. Don't have to tell me twice. And the next one, actually, it's not that bad. This one is kind of easy. Chop up, cut up, dice up. They're all pretty much the same thing. So I have a definition and a sentence for you. Chop up means to cut something into small pieces using a knife or another sharp tool. It's like making bigger things into smaller bits so you can cook or eat them easily. Chop up. Not fry up. Chop up. For example, you can chop up vegetables for a salad by cutting them into tiny pieces. I thought we were doing too much unhealthy food with the chicken tenders and the French fries, so I tried to get some healthy food there, a salad. And what most Americans do is when they have a salad, they top it with fatty dressing, like ranch dressing. So then the salad becomes unhealthy. But maybe you are healthier than most Americans. Oh, yes. That's right. Wear my glasses. I wear my glasses in my classroom all the time, but is that a serious look right there? These are not the glasses I wear in the classroom. They're my classroom glasses are in the classroom still. Hello. I remember when you had like 1,000 to 2,000 subs. Now you have over 20,000. Amazing how time flies. Yeah. Hey, I doubt Bob the Canadian is still watching, but if he is, a lot of those subs are thanks to him. Yeah. If you put Bob the Canadian in a thumbnail, you get more subscribers. Pro tip right there. So thank you, Bob the Canadian, if you're still watching. Chop up, cut up, slice up. Yeah, you could do that. I think I have another sentence with chop up. No, maybe I don't. But yeah, chop up, cut up, dice up. Dice up. I think dice up means a little bit smaller than chop up. But like I said, I'm not a professional cook, so they both work for me. This is a difficult phrasal verb, I think. So let's start with the verb, and then we'll talk about how it's used. And it's actually not used with cooking as much, but it's a good phrasal verb to know. So let's get the verb out of the way first. So sift, sift. So when you are cooking or baking with flour, you might want to sift it before you use it. And what that does is it takes out the lumps. Another phrasal verb. It takes out the lumps. So here's a sentence for you, or two. Many people will sift their flour before they bake or cook with it. They are trying to remove any lumps in the flour. So in the picture, that person is using a sifter to sift the flour. In case there are any big chunks or lumps of flour, that gets rid of the lumps. If you sift it, gets rid. Another English phrasal verb. Let's talk about lumps. Lumps and bumps are almost the same thing. If you have lumps, it's the opposite of smooth. So in that picture, I tried to get a picture of some like lumpy sugar. It's really sugar cubes, but it's not smooth sugar. The grains of sugar aren't small. They're kind of lumpy. So some people will also sift sugar. Let's talk about one form of lump that isn't fun, but you might hear this in English. No, not yet. Not yet. This is okay. It's the next one that's not fun. When you make your bed in the morning, you want the blanket to be smooth with no lumps. So, smooth. The blanket on top of the bed, when it's made up, look at, we just took a verb and put an up at the end. So when you make up your bed, you want it to be nice and smooth. No lumps. You might pat down the lumps. Now here's the really sad one. Another way you might hear lump used in English is when it comes to cancer. So I think everybody can agree cancer is the worst. It's really bad. Cancer, one of the worst things. Unfortunately, you might hear lumps when people talk about cancer. She found a lump on her breast. So lump sometimes has a medical term, and it has something to do with cancer. So, but a lump on somebody's skin. You might have a lump in your throat. So if you are nervous and it feels like there is something in your throat where you can't talk, you might hear that too. Ooh, I have a lump in my throat. Could be getting sick, or you could be nervous. Maybe when you try to speak English, every time you have a lump in your throat. All right. This is where the English phrasal verb comes in. So to sift through. So hopefully you now know what sift means. We use sift through most of the time when we're not talking about cooking. So take a look at this definition. Sift through means to carefully go through a group of things to find something you want and not what you don't want. So if you look at this picture, there are many things in this picture. And maybe if you lost your phone in this room, you would have to sift through all of those items to find your phone. Sift through. In a couple weeks, I'm going to have an English lesson at a garage sale. And a lot of times people will sift through items at a garage sale to find bargains. So how about this sentence here? She sifted through items at a garage sale in order to find the best bargains. She sifted through items at a garage sale in order to find the best bargains. Let's check the chat. Then we'll do one more. All right, there you go. Sift a negative person from your life. Chris, great question. And I'm glad you wrote this in the chat. Sorry if you're listening to the podcast. Same pronunciation for the words flower. Actually, it's missing an E, okay? Flower and flower. So yeah, flower, the plant. If you watch Bob the Canadian, I'm sure you do. If you don't, you should. He talks a lot about his flower farm or Jen's flower farm. So you don't really cook with flowers. I'm sure you could. Some do. But for the most part, the other way, F-L-O-U-R, that is the thing that you can make a cake with. So yeah, same pronunciation though. All right, check into the chat. There you go, Mahmoud. 5,000. Oh, Chris. Chick-fil-A has awesome chicken. No, Chick-fil-A is awesome for chicken. I agree. Thumbs up for sure. I almost want to go to Chick-fil-A soon because they have a new sandwich. It's like chicken with pimento cheese. If I ever do like a Southern food lesson, we'll talk about pimento cheese. Yeah, I have so many videos that are waiting to come out. Car parts, how to order popcorn in English, how to order lunch in English, how to order pizza, how to order ice cream. So many. So many. Oh, great example, Mahmoud. Yeah, flour. Make bread. See, I'm always going to the unhealthy things. Cake, cupcakes, cookies. Yeah, bread. It's a little healthier. Little healthier. Ooh, good one. Is that Road? Rad Omer? Omer? It's a good one. The police sifted for clues. It's a great example. Thank you. It's a new name. Familiar, not familiar to me. All right. Yeah. Well, be careful. Be careful. Villagers are being sifted through evidence by police. So you wouldn't sift through people. You would sift through items. So like evidence. Maybe they were sifting through the house looking for clues. But yeah, probably a little different for people. All right, a couple more here. One of my favorites. Let me see here. Pig out. Let's talk about pig out. So in the picture here, let me get rid of all this stuff. In the picture here, this person looks like they are pigging out. You have like a chicken burger there, maybe some kind of wrap. I don't know, is that a pizza? So when you pig out in English, that means you don't care about calories. You don't care about how much weight you are going to gain. You just eat everything you see. You kind of make a pig out of yourself. So if you want to pig out, a lot of people pig out during the holidays here in the United States. A lot of Americans just pig out every day, which is why so many of us are heavy. I got a little sentence here for you. When you pig out, you eat a lot of anything you want. You don't care about your diet. You don't care about calories. And clearly, the person in the picture doesn't care about their diet. We might call that double fisting. So this is a fist. I mean, they're eating so much, they are double fisting. Both hands are full. They're just shoving food into their mouth. Yeah, they're double fisting. Pigging out. It's fun. But you won't live very long if you do it for a long period of time. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my medical advice. Maybe pigging out is good for you. I don't think so. But again, I'm not a professional cook and I'm not a medical doctor. Consult your doctor just to make sure pigging out isn't good for you. Don't take my advice on health. Tanya, did you drop another super chat? Thank you. Thank you so much. Tanya is always dropping stars on Facebook. I think Omron is as well. Thank you so much. Like I said before, I know, money. Everything's getting expensive. So money doesn't go quite as far, but it means so much when you do drop a super chat. So Tanya, thank you so much. Got a little something for you. Just have to find it. Tanya, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, that is awesome. I may have to take a trip to Germany eventually. I did see a comment yesterday when I said, of the 4 countries that I'm visiting, which are you most excited about? Because I will be filming English lessons there. And in the chat, and it wasn't Tanya, sorry, in the comments, and it wasn't Tanya, somebody said Germany. So maybe Germany is in the top 10 countries, I think, for people who watch me. Yeah. Can't remember. Number one is the U.S. and number 2 I think is Brazil. Number 3 is Russia. So Russia is out. Can't visit Russia now. Germany I think is in the top 10. It might be like number 8 or 9. I'll have to check. Yeah, I love to pig out. So just put that 2 there. I love to pig out. Me too. Ooh, this is a good one. Reza, hey, good to see you. What's the difference between the police sifted through the neighborhood versus canvassed the neighborhood? I think they're the same. Yep. I think they are the same too. If you're canvassing, and that's very professional, if you're canvassing the neighborhood, it means looking for or sifting through, maybe. Yeah, very, very similar. Both of those sentences, both of those examples are correct. Yeah, the police sifted through the neighborhood looking for the criminal. The police canvassed the neighborhood looking for the criminal. Very well done. Filippo, earlier, left a super chat. Filippo, again, left a super chat. Filippo, very, very kind. Thank you so much. Little something for you while I take a sip of water. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Very kind of you, Filippo. Filippo is very generous as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. What is this here? Omran says, I made a chicken sausage today with green chilies and onion. It's a perfect recipe. That does sound good. I don't know what is better about that. Is it eating it or smelling it while it cooked? And for all of those, chicken sausage. Okay. Anybody can eat chicken, right? All around the world, anybody can eat chicken. So yeah, some green chilies, some onions. I bet that smelled delicious. Mahmoud said, Tanya is awesome. He is correct. He is correct. I love the way you teach. Thank you so much. What's the difference between arrive and reach? Yeah. Not really cooking, but it's a pretty short answer, I think. They can both mean the same thing. Hey, I've arrived at home. I've reached home. I think maybe with reach, we would use it like a more formal destination, maybe like a longer trip. I finally reached my house. Might say that after a long trip. Yeah, when I hear reach, it means the journey might have been difficult, I think. All right. Going to prepare some vegetables right after this. All right, we only have, I think, 2 more. So let's get to the end of this, wrap up this English lesson. I know we did not cover all of the English phrasal verbs we use with cooking. Maybe next year we'll do a few more. Dig in. This is a good one. Dig in. You can say this when everybody is at the table and ready to eat. So maybe you prepared a meal for everybody and they're just being polite and they are waiting for you to start eating. You might say, dig in. Don't wait for me. Dig in. It's another way to say start eating. Start eating. Because we have another one, eat up. So both of these phrasal verbs mean almost the same thing, but dig in, you only use at the beginning of a meal. You can use eat up. So maybe that person just made the meal. Their family is waiting. No, go ahead. Eat up. But you can also say eat up in the middle of a meal. So maybe somebody isn't eating as much as you think they should. Like, no, eat up. Or you might say this to a small child because you want them to grow. Say, eat up. Yeah, you can say that at any time during the meal if you think they're not eating enough. A lot of grandparents, I think, maybe grandmothers. I don't want to stereotype grandmothers and say all grandmothers say this, but this seems like a very grandmotherly thing to say. I think I just made that word up. Grandmotherly. Yeah. New adverb there. And that's it. That's it. That's all we have. Those are all of the English phrasal verbs. So again, Filippo, thank you so much. Thank you for becoming a new channel member. Amina, Filippo, New Words with MP, Omran, Tanya, Filippo again. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you to anybody who watched. Did anybody start the lesson and has been here the entire hour? I think there are a few people. Mahmoud is still here. I know that. Oh, I bet Filippo. But he can't chat back all the time because he's still at work. It could be Tanya might be still here too. So, hey, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, all that stuff. Maybe do it again next week. Hopefully. I'll see what I'm doing. But hopefully next Saturday, same time. Maybe we can do a members chat before. So thank you, everyone. Need to go. Adios, amigos. Thanks for